He ruled the most powerful empire on earth. But unlike other emperors, he didn't crave gold or war or applause. He craved peace. And that peace, he first had to find inside his own mind. This is not a story about war or conquest. It's not about the rise of Rome. It's about the rise of a man who learned to lead an empire by first mastering himself. This is the silent rise of Marcus Aurelius. He was born in 121 AD in a quiet Roman household. Not a palace, not on a battlefield, but in a home of scholars, tutors, and scrolls. Marcus Aurelius was not raised to be a warrior. He was raised to be thoughtful, patient, watchful. From the time he could walk, he spent more time in libraries than arenas. The Emperor Hadrian noticed him early. There was something different about the boy, not ambition, but presence. Hadrian didn't choose Marcus directly. Instead, he arranged a chain of succession that would eventually place the empire in Marcus's hands. Marcus was adopted by Antoninus Pius, Hadrian's chosen heir, and with that, a quiet boy was now the adopted son of the most powerful man in Rome. But instead of throwing himself into politics, Marcus kept reading. Instead of seeking the public stage, he sought private journals. He studied philosophy, especially Stoicism, and he was drawn to one idea. Above all, you cannot control what happens, but you can control how you respond. That belief would one day carry him through plague, war, betrayal, and grief. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king. At age 39, he became emperor of Rome. He didn't celebrate. He didn't throw a feast. He didn't boast. He simply accepted it. If the gods have given me this role, I will perform it with dignity, he wrote. But it wasn't long before peace gave way to chaos. A plague swept across the empire, killing over 5 million people. While others panicked, Marcus wrote, "Do not be disturbed. All events are part of the world's nature. It is not what happens, it is how you bear it." He didn't retreat into his palace. He went to the front lines, to the hospitals, to the military camps, to the dying provinces, not as a warrior, but as a calm, present leader. Then came the Germanic Wars, a long and brutal conflict. Marcus didn't glorify it. He hated war. People look for retreats in the country, by the sea, in the mountains. But the best retreat is inside your own mind. While others sharpened swords, he sharpened his thoughts. Each night, in the chaos of war, Marcus would quietly write in his journal, not to lead soldiers, but to lead himself. That was the true battle. During the wars, Marcus suffered a deeper loss. He lost his children. In total, Marcus and his wife Faustina had 13 children. Only 5 survived into adulthood. Imagine the weight of ruling the world while quietly grieving child after child. Yet in his journals, he didn't rage. He didn't curse fate. He simply wrote, "You were born for this. You can bear it." And then he kept going. Other emperors built statues of themselves. Marcus built words. He wrote without grammar, without flourish, just reflections. He reminded himself not to become addicted to praise, not to be swayed by anger, and not to fear death. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. He ruled for nearly 2 decades, never assassinated, never overthrown, never corrupted. His greatest conquest was his own mind, his final war. In his final years, Marcus was tired, not just physically, but spiritually. Decades of loss, plague, war, and quiet self-discipline had worn him thin. But duty did not end. The Germanic tribes threatened Rome again. So once more, the philosopher emperor left his palace and rode to the front lines. There, in the bitter cold and disease, he lived in tents among soldiers. He didn't speak of destiny. He didn't seek glory. He simply asked himself, "What is my duty today?" He made one big mistake. He appointed his son, Commodus, as his successor. It was the only major flaw in a nearly flawless life. Commodus was the opposite of Marcus. He sought attention. He loved spectacle. He rejected philosophy. Some historians say Marcus had no choice. Others say he hoped his writings would shape his son, but they didn't. Commodus would one day rule with cruelty, turning Rome into a theater of violence. Many believe Marcus's legacy was undone, but history tells a different story. For the man may have died, but his words remained. In his journal, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Centuries passed, empires fell, statues crumbled, names vanished, but his words remained. And in those words, millions have found peace, clarity, and calm strength. He ruled an empire, but more importantly, he ruled himself. He didn't shout his values. He lived them silently. And even now, 2,000 years later, his silent rise continues in anyone who chooses stillness over chaos, discipline over desire, and thought over impulse. This was Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who mastered his mind. Subscribe if you're building your future in silence. We rise together, one quiet decision at a time.